Welcome back to The Comic Dudes, a podcast about comic books and comic book related things. My name is Dave, and this week we're doing the second Let's Read episode of 2026. It's Reckless Volume 2, Friend of the Devil by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. And with me as always for Let's Read, my co-hosts and friends, Eric and Matt. Boys, how we doing?
Doing good.
Pretty good. Can I do just a brief PSA, Dave? I know it's not a G.I. Joe episode, but just a very brief one.
Yeah.
And you live in Texas, and I know that you have a lot of fantastic cuisine there for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're, your wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, significant other, when they tell you not...
Dave specifically?
Anyone. This is for everyone.
Oh, okay.
If any of them ever tell you not to eat a delicious steak, or in my case, delicious grilled chicken after 4 days, listen to them. I had an experience with some meat, and let's just say I played Demolition Man in the bathroom yesterday, so I'm not feeling too great, but I'm happy to be here with the boys.
You didn't know what to do with the shells?
Oh, those shells got used very frequently, very often. I was probably fined, like Simon Phoenix in the bathroom from some of the things I was screaming. Yeah. But I'm doing good. I'm back with the boys. I'm sorry to be graphic to any new listeners, but please take that PSA as a warning for everyone.
So 4 days feels like an okay time.
Don't eat 4-day-old chicken?
No, it was like 7. Because
You said 4.
You said 4.
I said 4, but I was at 7. No, I pushed it.
You said 4. You said you ate 4-day-old. You said someone tells you not to eat 4-day-old chicken.
After 4 days. More than 4 days.
You're saying eat it less than 4 days.
Yeah, less than 4 days.
You withheld some information that's really important to the understanding of that PSA.
Less than 4 days, you're good. Probably 5, you're good, but 7...
I'm going to be honest with you, man. And I love you. You know that. I love you.
Yeah.
You know this.
Yeah.
I don't think most people are required a PSA to not eat 7-day-old food.
Yeah.
But when it's delicious to that level. Like, I looked at it and I was like, I know I shouldn't eat this, but I think I have the constitution and fortitude of will to do this.
Maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah, anyone after 30 Exactly. If you're over 25, don't do that. It's over. It's over for you. So.
Chat, how old is too old for chicken?
Yeah,
let us know.
You just ask chat like we're live streaming this. I love that. You can't live stream from the recording software that we use. So we could live stream an episode if that's something that the kids want to see. If you do want to see that, you can join our Discord and tell us. That's the best way to connect with us. Or if you want to share your stories about making poor eating decisions, that's where you should do it.
Yeah.
You can also follow us on Instagram to find out when new episodes come out. And you can follow us on TikTok for cool action figure type content over there.
Cool action figure content.
Today I posted a time lapse of building a diorama that I ordered from this place called Ramen Toy, which is they're like in the Philippines or something. I have this huge sewer diorama. It's like 2 layers. There's like a street layer, and there's like a sewer underneath, and there's like sewer pipes. Dude, it's so cool. I cannot wait to start taking photos with that thing.
Dave built a sewer diorama. Matt sent some diarrhea to the sewer.
Yeah. Yes.
Full circle moment.
We come together. We always do.
Yeah. So this is a Let's Read episode, and this is your spoiler warning. If you don't want Reckless, Friend of the Devil, spoiled for you, time to vamoose. If you're still here, I assume you're okay with this.
Is that consent?
It is now.
Silence is consent.
Yeah.
You were warned. If you didn't heed the warning, there's nothing else I can do for you. I did my half-assed summary again because I cannot bring myself to take notes on this comic.
It's tough for a number of reasons that I'll talk about, but I did take some notes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna remind people who Ethan Reckless is, then I'll give a quick summary of this volume. So Ethan Reckless is a former FBI undercover agent who now works as a fixer in early 1980s Los Angeles. He lives alone in a decrepit movie theater that he owns, and he advertises his services through a hotline number, because remember, it is the 80s. He'll take almost any job, recovering stolen money, finding missing people, intimidating criminals, but he has a personal moral code and avoids hurting innocent people. He's deeply traumatized by his past. He also had some injuries from a bomb that went off from an undercover mission. He carries a lot of guilt, emotional numbness, and has a lot of memory gaps because of that incident. But Friend of the Devil is set in 1985. And Lynn Tran, a librarian and Ethan's romantic interest, asks for help finding her long-missing stepsister, Maggie. So Ethan begins to dig into the decades-old disappearance. A breakthrough comes when Maggie unexpectedly appears in the background of a grainy B-movie clip, prompting Reckless to unravel a web of Hollywood's hidden occult underbelly, exploitation, and leftover mysteries from the wild 1970s. His investigation touches on sleazy producers, cults, and fringe figures as he pieces together what really happened to her. And then my summaries came from two places, CBR and Publishers Weekly. I stole this stuff. It's not my original writing. Just wanted to point that out so no one thinks I'm plagiarizing. I mean, I did, but I'm not claiming it as my own.
That's a fair. I mean,
citation. Those are citations.
Yeah,
you're good.
I have citations.
Yeah, those are citations, man.
And you didn't use AI or something. You know, a human being wrote that.
True.
Probably.
I would assume so, because this is years old.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, Matt?
Yes,
I'm good.
Matt.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, who wants to start with some good things about this book? Again, I enjoyed it. In a general sense, I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
In a general sense, I also enjoyed it.
Yeah. I read it in about an hour.
Yeah, same. I
don't
think
know how you guys do this.
That's one of the best things about these books, but also one of the reasons that it's difficult to take notes is because these are one-sitting books for me. They move quickly, and they're also the pacing is good, so there's not really an obvious place to stop. There's not really a lull where you go, I'll stop here. I might as well keep going and see how the story ends.
Mm-hmm.
Even you have the chapter breaks or whatever, but you get through them so quick. The chapters or whatever, they move so fast that
there's not issue breaks like in most collected editions that we've read,
right?
Because this is an OGN. He just breaks whenever he feels like it. When there's a story break is when he breaks.
Yeah, sometimes it's 2 pages.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I was doing just a little bit of research, and the first volume, it was a little unclear to me. They definitely spelled it out more in this one. That it was in 1985 was when this one started. The first one was apparently 1981.
Okay.
Next is 1988, and I'm actually really excited to get to the 90s, which they get to later. And I kind of want to see, as a 90s kid, kind of seeing some of those vibes and what it's like. I like that this is. I don't know how I missed it. Reckless was kind of the narrator until we talked about it the last volume. But it's him narrating kind of his adventure and his journey through this time. I think that's just kind of interesting. I kind of want to see what the 90s is like. And I don't know when the 5th volume is. Is that the 2000s? Is that who? I don't know. So
I did a little math.
Did you? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he mentions that it was 30 years ago. When he's narrating. So that means that he's 65 when he's telling the tale of Friend of the Devil, because he says that he's 35 in this book.
In the first book, he sort of gives that time frame too, and we figured out that this was in the 2010s somewhere or something like that.
2015.
Yeah, there you go. 2015 then. Because there's a lot of references. Most of it is him narrating almost as if he's telling you about something that happened last week. But every once in a while, there's we didn't have laptops and things back then and stuff like that reminds you that he is well into the future.
Yeah. I felt like this volume for me, as the person who is not a resident time traveler, there was a lot less backtracking in this volume. And I think that was obviously there's a lot more of that because the first volume really was a setup volume for this series. So like there was a lot of that explaining like why he got into the CIA or whatever and like what happened, and it was bouncing around a lot. Like there was some of that, but not, if there was any of that, it was like half of a page or a page. It wasn't multiple pages of that. So this volume was just a little bit more linear and a little bit more easy for me to keep up with. Yeah, so I did like that as well too. So
I felt that it was more enjoyable overall to read, and I think that was because of the standout character in this volume, Lynn.
Yeah,
without Lynn, this wouldn't be nearly as exciting to read.
Yeah, well, I think that this one, to Matt's point, it was a little more linear. It did flow a little more. I think the pacing worked even a little bit better than the first one to me. This one made me go, okay, these aren't individual movies. Like I think we compared it to like James Bond. Mm-hmm. But it's not really like that. It's more like an episodic weekly TV show where you've got the MacGyver type or whoever that is not necessarily continuing a story, but you are learning about this character as they go. But it's always, hey, I met a new person. It sends me on a new journey that we resolve in 30 minutes and then we move on. And that's kind of how this feels to me.
That's a good way.
Yeah, we talked about that last month, that it was more like a TV show.
Yeah. And this one really hit me with that. Like,
I think the MacGyver parallel is like the right one here. Like, it is absolutely every single one of these is there's some sort of new antagonist that puts me into a new situation, and everything wraps up nicely by the end of this 30 or 45-minute show, and then we move on.
Yeah, like these books so far are pretty derivative, although I think that's kind of the point of it. I think it is meant to pay homage to this type of content. Mm-hmm. Which is fine because it also, on some level, makes it feel a little predictable, which can feel good to read because you're like, oh, okay, this is familiar to me. But this book, in a lot of ways, had exactly the same formula as the first one. And I think this is going to be what we're going to continue to see is Ethan meets woman, potentially. This person leads to investigation. Ethan goes on journey and meets a series of people that lead him to the big bad. He goes into a rage, kills the bad people. It's like kind of the same thing that happened last time. Wouldn't be shocked if we continue to see that type of pattern.
I did enjoy that the killing of bad people were Nazis.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Cool. I do love killing Nazis.
Yeah.
I did not realize it, but I didn't know that the 70s was the big rise of cults, just in general. I did a little Wikipedia, like the Heaven's Gate cult. There was the Mansons were late 60s into the 70s. I did not realize that for some reason.
They reference a lot of real things in the book. They reference EST, which is the Erhard Seminars training, which was mind controls and cults and stuff that was going on. They reference Manson, and a lot of what was going on here kind of had a little bit of that vibe. But I didn't realize, I had to look this up. It's true. Apparently Orange County did, and maybe still does, have a huge skinhead population, specifically of the neo-Nazi persuasion. I saw it on the internet called the neo-Nazi skinhead capital. And I was like, Orange County, huh? Who knew?
I guess there's some seedier parts of the OC.
Or there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that you just don't always see. I don't know.
Yeah, fair. Haven't spent a lot of time there, but I spent enough time there to say I didn't see any parts where there were a lot of neo-Nazis.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Mm.
One of the things I really liked in this one that I didn't notice in the first one, I might have to go back and look, but there were multiple points in it where there was a panel that's just a close-up of a character's face. And I think those were really cool because unlike some other times when they, here's a character in a panel, these ones had a ton of really cool and subtle expression. It would show a close-up of a character's face, and there was a subtleness to their eyes or their mouth or the way their face looked that really portrayed not a like over the top, shock or anger. It was like a sort of mixed set of emotions that were subtle that you'd go, oh, okay, I see this person is saying this, but they feel a little unsure about what's going on or something. I mean, give credit to the art there, but also give credit to the fact that that helps to further the story and the characters. And plus, they're just really cool images to look at.
I don't think I picked up on that as much, but I wish I would have, because that's the kind of stuff that I really like.
Yeah, there was at least 5 times where they did that I was like, that's really cool. There's some really cool subtle expression in there that tells a story. So I thought that was neat. Pay attention to the next one. Hopefully they keep doing it.
Yeah. Matt, you good? You're like grimaced and furiously clicking.
Yeah. No, sorry. I was just, when Eric brought up a point about art, and I thought I did see this on the first panel, or the opening this up towards the beginning. This volume, I really like the colors in this, and the colors were done by Jacob Phillips, who I believe is Sean Phillips' son. And I didn't know that for the longest time. So we had a different colorist on this volume too, and I just thought that was, especially like ever since we talked about it in that G.I. Joe thing episode a while ago, I think about it like the color, like you talk about the colors and the vibes, like the beach, the seedier parts of California, but like the cult stuff with the red and the the bright reds and stuff like that. Credit to Jacob Phillips. That's why I was like furiously clicking. I was like, I'm pretty sure that like we had a different colorist on this volume, and that was Jacob.
That makes sense. Yeah. I did feel in general like everything just was a little cleaner.
Yeah,
it wasn't as muddied, and maybe that was intentional. I don't know, but
Sean probably didn't have to do colors. I think Sean Phillips does his own colors, so okay. I don't know. I'd have to fact check it, but
interesting.
Yeah, Eric? What did you think about? I know that you said that Ethan, like in the first podcast we did for the first volume, like there really isn't much to Ethan. Do you still feel that way? Like after reading this volume, still kind of the same thing, or did this expand even more? For you specifically, I was like thinking about you when I was like reading this.
No, I mean, you still walk away from this without much of him to attach to, right? We get a lot of Lynn in this, and you start, and it's, I suppose you're feeling through him in that way, right? Yeah. The story is, as he's retelling it, obviously you're understanding his emotions and things for her. But I don't know. He's portrayed as somebody who doesn't have much emotion, and yet it's clear that he's thinking about things and considering, how people would feel or react or things like that. So it's there. So I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. That's an interesting question, but I think the answer is I still feel kind of the same. I would not, if somebody was like, oh, what's one of your favorite comic characters? He wouldn't be in the top 100.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought there was a little heroism, if that's a word, or like just kind of like at the end where like he was happy with Lynn, and he had the decision to like show her or tell her what happened to her sister, and ultimately he did, knowing that was going to sacrifice that relationship and like they couldn't be together. And I just thought that was like, all right, that's a little some, like we're getting some development, like a little bit of development there, that like the first volume is literally just kill everyone and whatever. But I was like, all right, like there's a little nugget there, but not, again, like you said, like would he be like in my top whatever heroes? No, the Punisher would be ahead of him, and suicidal people that just kill people. Like he has more emotional complexity to me. But I was just curious if you still felt the same way or if that changed.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get a ton of his personality here. Actually, I think we got more in the first volume than we did in this one, I think.
So we backtracked. We went worse. We got worse.
I think neutral, because we're still using the information we got in the first volume. Yeah. I just don't think they gave us a lot more about him here, personally.
And I guess I haven't like really I haven't read a lot of like pulp things, and maybe that's just like the trope. I don't know if you guys have read a lot of pulp stuff. Is that just how it is? It's kind of like the character's the character. They're kind of straightforward. It is what it is, and there's not really a lot of emotional depth to them or whatever like that.
I don't know if there's. I think not having any emotional depth is not a prerequisite, but the character kind of always being the same character.
Yeah.
I think that's true of any episodic content, especially with knowing that Brubaker is attempting to pay homage to the pulp books of the 60s and the 50s.
Got you.
If you're holding out for emotional growth or some sort of blossoming of Ethan Reckless, I think you'll end up disappointed, because one of the things that they made sure to hammer home in the first volume was, as an outcome of that explosion,
it's gone.
He has lost the ability to feel certain things and remember certain things. And that is the get out of jail free card for developing this character beyond what has presented as who Ethan Reckless is in volume 1. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
I'm not expecting him to, there to be some big revelatory moment where we're like, oh, I get him now.
Yeah, this is just who he is.
I think what we're getting is what we're getting, and the story is really more about the other people that he's interacting with. I mean, obviously through him, but I think it's more about the story than the character, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It is. And I think you're right.
Yeah.
Speaking of the story, did you notice at the end, there's a panel where he's staring at a movie poster called Destroy All Monsters, which is the title of the next volume.
Yeah. That was
a fun little tip of the hat.
I think that poster was in the volume earlier as well, too.
It was.
Yeah, I saw it earlier, and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting, like knowing what the title is, but yeah. Well done.
Going back to what you said, Matt, about showing the movie to Lynn.
Yeah.
I know she asked to see it.
I wouldn't. Yeah, that probably was.
But
sometimes you have to protect people from themselves.
That is, Dave. Go ahead though. I that's my biggest, the bad.
That's my only bad. Yeah, I guess you could reason this away as he lacks emotion and the ability to. I think that's a cop-out.
I had that thought, too.
That's the only way you could say or justify why he did that anyway. Because I think, Matt, you're right. You do need to protect people from themselves sometimes.
You know what, though? Because I started writing this down. I'm like, why did he just show her the film, right?
That's what I wrote down, too.
And my brain went, well... He doesn't have that sort of interpersonal or emotional, logic that would lead him to not showing it to her. And then I'm like, no, that's not true. They say he's somebody with no emotions, but he clearly does. As he learned to care about Lynn, and his whole motivation for going on this journey and investigating the disappearance of her sister was because he cared about her.
Exactly, yeah.
All of that stuff is there. He clearly does not lack the capacity to have compassion or to care or to love, right? Those things are real. He understands that. And he spends a lot of time thinking about, okay, what is this person going to do? As a private investigator, that's sort of a thing you need to be able to predict. So that stuff is there. I think 2 or 3 panels would have done the trick of him saying, well, I've got this film. This is what happens. And Lynn saying, I want to see it. And him saying, you shouldn't watch it. And her demanding and him going, all right, if you really want to see it. That's it. That's all I would have wanted. And then I would have been like, okay, this makes sense. But instead it goes straight to, I showed her the film and then her watching it. And I'm like, I can't imagine seeing that, but also allowing somebody to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry for the rant.
No, it was warranted. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much more to say about it other than what the fuck.
Yeah.
Destroy the film. Tell her what happened.
Yeah, just tell her what happened.
Take the choice away. Sorry. Take the choice away.
Take the player's helmet. You got to take their helmet and get them. You can't let them go back in the game.
Well, and then he even goes to the length of, after that, hunting down every copy and destroying it and killing the people that had them.
Yeah.
Why would you let her watch this? Destroy it. Tell her what it was, and exactly take the option away.
Maybe he really just wanted to give her closure. I don't know. Maybe her mind. Maybe she wouldn't believe him.
But show me that. Put 2 or 3 panels.
Your panels. Your panel thing makes sense. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I thought that was odd. I thought that was very odd. I think we all did. So
that's my only bad.
Also, think about this. He was screening a snuff film in his theater.
Yeah.
He sure was.
Yeah, he sure was.
Was that illegal?
Is it illegal? Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a private viewing, though.
I think the correct answer is it's only illegal if you get caught.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that Matt was attempting to justify it.
Maybe Matt and I are into snuff films. You don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not, for the record.
Okay. Matt's getting some sort of like light from the heavens.
I might be getting stuffed out here myself here in a minute. I don't know what's going on. But
God was like, I'm watching you, buddy. You believe in me. Don't give me a reason to stop believing in you.
I don't know what's going on. I just had some divine intervention here. So.
Yeah.
I guess you got no. Yeah.
I was not like the most profound thought, but like reading this volume, I'm curious if like Brubaker's trying to teach us something about like nostalgia as people who are very rooted in nostalgia, especially if you follow our TikTok content there with all the X-Men 92 figures or whatever. Like, but 97. This is 97. This is well, I thought you got some OG looking thing, whatever. X-Men figures from Days of Past, not Days of Future Past, which we should read.
We got those two.
Yeah. Like, not the good kind of nostalgia, but I don't know, man. Like, I wonder if they're trying to say something to us about nostalgia and how it's kind of dangerous to go back at home. Like, Lynn had a good life. Like, it seemed like she had a relatively good life from everything we saw, and then it's like she undug all this pain, and seeing that film is trauma now. Like that she could have kind of like, if you see a film like that, I'm sure you can't remember your sister in like the good light that you remembered her on after you see something like that. Because my mind would be racing like, what did my sister get herself into? XYZ, what was going on all this time? So it's like, sometimes are things better left just kind of alone. I wonder if that's something that they're trying to get across in this volume, or maybe I just read into it too much, but I don't know. That's something I took away from this.
So less about nostalgia and more about sometimes let the past be the past.
Kind of let the past be the past. Yeah. You can always second guess yourself, revisit things, and just bring up just general traumas from the past. So I don't know.
This whole series is about Ethan Reckless's past. So
it is. But
I have an alternate take, and it's because I wrote down a quote that fucked me up a little bit. Yeah, from this volume.
All right.
That quote is, sometimes it's like we're all trying to get back to something, to find some lost moment where it all felt right and just wrap it around ourselves.
That comes up twice.
As I age, phrases and quotes like this become more poignant. Yeah. And I feel this in particular, like I paused for a second when I read that and started to think about some of the things that I do in my life today. And, I've talked before on the podcast about the fact that I'm in a band, and I've been in bands off and on since I was 15 years old. I've been in large, successful bands that were on record labels and toured, and I've played in front of 5,000-6,000 people before, and I've played shows in a basement to 10 people and 2 other bands, and no one gave a shit. And it is so hard for me to let that go. And I am absolutely hunting for those moments. I keep doing it because it's not nostalgia, but it is a time where I feel most like myself. And I don't ever want those moments to stop. So that quote, like I said, that quote fucked me up for a good 5 to 10 minutes. I just sat and thought about it for a while. And it's there's several things. It's not just being in a band, lots of things. I'm doing that with other things. That's the one that I think is the most prevalent. And it's also the one that I think causes the most pain, because the moments become fewer and farther between. And eventually they'll stop. And there's nothing that I can do about that. But until that day, I'm probably going to keep trying to get back to those things and find those lost moments where it all felt right.
I had that same moment.
Not surprised.
Like, it was definitely, I read that and I thought about it for a second and I went, oh, is that what I'm trying to do? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it sure is. Sure is what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to be a bit of a downer.
Good. No, it's good. It's good shit.
It's
That's me every fall, man, when football comes around.
Yeah.
Like the old playing days, and
It's not so much a downer as it is like a moment of perspective of going,
sure.
I guess that makes things make sense. But,
Well, I'm maybe projecting a little bit when I say it's a downer, because it brings me down.
But
just
every
a little.
once in a while, you find those things again. And not to go too off on a tangent, but I had accepted that my time being in bands and playing shows and stuff had come to an end. And you and I started working on music and started a band again. And there was a point where I'm like, I'm too old to do this. I can't do this. And from there, we did some of the most amazing things that I ever had the opportunity to do in a band. And I was like, oh, it's back. Like, I found it again. Like, I doubt it's ever going to happen to me again. But even after I had given up on it, I went looking for it and found it again,
Yeah.
So it's always possible.
I think what that tells me is that Matt should join a flag football league or something.
But not with these
Exactly.
knees. Not with these knees.
Not with these knees.
No.
Not with those eating habits, brother. Eating that 7-day-old chicken.
Not with those eating habits, too.
I mean, listen, maybe you could coach.
I need a nutrition specialist for sure. Like, there's no way.
Weren't you a coach's assistant or like a student coach or something for a while?
I
feel like that was a thing.
Yeah.
A graduate assistant, that's what it was called.
Grad assistant.
Sorry,
for 3 years.
I couldn't think of the name.
Yeah.
There was another quote in this book that fucked me up. And it's because I read it like 6 times and went, this has to be a typo or something, because I can't figure it out. It's in one of the pages where it's all black and he has a bag over his head and you're just hearing his thoughts. And the panel says, I've got it up here. The previous panel says, that's where I spent the next 10 hours. And then the panel I'm referencing just says, and I guess if I was just about anyone else, I just figured it out as I read it out loud. I'm like, if I was just about anyone else. But reading it out loud, I'm like, if I was just about anyone else, this might have worked.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Never mind. Now it makes sense. Every once in a while, you have to say it out loud for it to make sense. Because I kept reading it in my head, and I'm like, this line doesn't make sense. But now I've got it. Okay.
I'm glad we could help workshop that
together.
Live workshop.
Of all the things that give me a hard time emotionally or mentally or fuck me up, if I can resolve one that fast and go, I feel fine now.
You're good. We're back.
It's a win.
Yeah. I don't think I have much more to say about this.
No.
Matthew? Government name, Matthew.
No, let's go get on some Mark Raiders. No, I'm good.
I do have a question for both of you, though, at the end of this.
I'll ask it, because I have one more thing, too.
Okay.
But it's not a question. It's just a fun fact.
So when we read The Boys, there were several volumes that I think all or most of us didn't care for or dreaded. But I think I was always curious to see what would happen next. And there was a point where I couldn't wait to see what was going to happen next. Mm-hmm. And then when we read Why, every time we got through a volume, I'm like, fuck, what's going to happen next? I can't wait to find out. Do either of you have that feeling when you complete one of these books?
We're killing Reckless. Reckless, to me, I think they're solid and good stories, but there's not really... It's good, it's quality work, but there's no real connective tissue to bring you back. So I don't know, like, yeah, I like reading them, but there's nothing ridiculously offensive like The Boys that I'm like, man, I hope that son of a bitch gets it. You know, like there's nothing like that, or like it's just the nature of the book, how they're all just kind of self-contained. That was kind of like one of my bads, is like, I am not very smart when it comes to narrative structure or anything like that, but like I am noticing this trend that it's like everything's going to be wrapped up. There's going to be a bow at the end. There's been at both of these volumes, there's been one character, I don't remember their names, forgive me, but they've given you like a narrative explanation at the end of like what a lot of this happened, what a lot of this was. It was kind of like an adult Scooby-Doo reveal. Mask is off. Here's everything that kind of happened. So
the villain monologue,
the villain monologue or whatever. Like, I'm enjoying it, but it's just like, there's no, we need to go to Japan and get the monkey shit for York or whatever. Like, it's just, it is what it is.
There is no what will happen to York.
There's no what will happen to York. So
where will he ever find Beth? There is none of that. They do not leave you with any questions at the end of a volume.
Like, I wish there was a little, like, I feel like Brubaker is good enough writer where there could be a little bit of a connecting tissue for those.
There is.
Reading
His name is Ethan Reckless.
Yeah. And he has no emotions and he just kills people and he's a psychopath. So he's literally Jason. Like, he's just Jason or Michael Myers. He's a psychopath. He just kills
that I think
people.
is maybe a bit of a stretch. But
he has some romantic interest, but he's a psychopath. So,
he doesn't wear a mask.
Yes. Or is Ethan
metaphorically.
Is Ethan Reckless really the mask for, you know? What was his real name? Didn't he have a different like there's a different name?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it was the name that he used when he was undercover.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Ethan Reckless is his real name because he has to have that cool pulp name.
Yeah.
I can answer that question much more succinctly than Matt did.
Yeah.
No, I am not looking forward to reading the next volume when I finish one.
Oh wow! All right, there we go.
I'm not dreading it, but I'm not excited.
Worse than The Boys, bro?
I'm not dreading it either, but I'm definitely not looking forward to it. It's different than The Boys, like you said. It's not a comparable experience.
No.
And yeah, they're great stories, so I like reading them. But I'll be honest, if this was my first exposure to Ed Brubaker, I'd be like, what the fuck's everybody on about? He's not that great. He's not that great.
This is the guy you're talking
about. Like this is your king.
This is your king.
Yeah. This is like I don't want to call it a passion project for him. I think it's more of like I kind of always wanted to do this, and I had some time, so I did it.
No, I think it is.
No, because in the afterword of the first volume, he said, like, I've always wanted to do this. This is about my dad and how inspired I was by the books that he used to read and how obsessed I was with the covers. Yeah, it's a passion project.
Yeah, I just don't sense a lot of... I think there's a lot of attention to detail, but I don't think it doesn't read like, boy, he's hungry. There's a lot of passion in this writing. It's like, this is something I did because I enjoyed doing it, and because I had the leeway to do it in a publisher that was willing to publish it, you know?
I also think that this is maybe just that the pulp novel doesn't translate to comic book.
Maybe.
I just don't think it does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, not bad. I have not disliked reading either of them. I probably won't
neither. I've
dislike
enjoyed
the
it.
next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it would be hard for me if somebody was like, what should I read? This would not be something that I'm like, oh, you gotta read Reckless.
If you want to read Ed Brubaker, start with his Captain America run.
And if you want to hear passion projects, listen to our episode 133 about Wonder Man. also a passion project for Disney.
A lot of passion in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of passion. So if you guys remember, in December when we did our holiday comics episode,
I remember.
I told you guys that I was listening to Christmas music to put myself in the mood to create the ambiance.
You got me confused and interested.
This comic took place in 1985, so I went to Spotify and I listened to a top songs of 1985 playlist while reading this comic.
I can't listen and read at the same time. That's crazy.
Let me share with you.
Volume, I can.
I as the songs came up, I wrote them down because some of these were like weird memory unlocks, and some were just not very enjoyable to have on while I was reading. But funny nonetheless. We started off with Aretha Franklin's "Who's Zoomin' Who." Zoomin' in context of the 80s was about like, am I checking you out? You checking me out? I don't really know.
I feel like I don't know that song.
I feel like I do not know that song either, but
I didn't either. Then we had Prince, Raspberry Beret.
Oh, yeah.
Phil Collins, One More Night.
Okay.
Bruce Springsteen, I'm on Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Which
that's
I
probably
think maybe
fits
has
pretty well.
Some problematic lyrics potentially.
Oh, it does. He talks a lot about little girls in that.
He does. Kind of weird.
Yeah, but also
Survivor, I Can't Hold Back.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that song.
Survivor, I know Survivor. I don't know if I know that song now that I think of it.
Julian Lennon, Too Late for Goodbyes.
Maybe.
Tina Turner, Better Be Good to Me.
I don't know.
Unfortunately,
if I know that song.
not our only Tina Turner entry on the list. The Thompson Twins, Lay Your Hands on Me.
I know one of their songs, but I don't know if that's the.
Is this like a British playlist that's got a lot of songs that charted there, but not here?
It's the Billboard Top 100 from 1985.
No
shit.
shit.
I'd have to hear some of
Did it start at 100?
Yeah. I didn't know them by song title, but I would hear them and I'd go, okay, I remember.
Yeah,
okay.
Chicago, You're the Inspiration.
You're the inspiration.
Yep.
Yeah. Know that.
Madonna, Crazy for You.
Mm-hmm.
The Power Station, Some Like It Hot.
Oh, there you go.
Like it hot.
Yep. Duran Duran, The Wild Boys.
Oh, that's a good
one. I know
one.
that one by Duran.
Yeah. Howard Jones, Things Can Only Get Better.
Howard Jones from Kill Switch Engage?
Yes. Tina Turner, We Don't Need Another Hero.
We don't need another hero. Isn't that from Mad Max?
I don't know, but contextually made sense with what I was reading.
I'm pretty
Beyond
sure
Thunderdome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's from. I've not even seen those movies, but I feel like it's from Mad Max.
And then the last song, which played during the part where Lynn watched the movie, Tears for Fears, Head Over Heels.
That's a great song. I listen to that song regularly, so as they're breaking up, Tears for Fears is playing. I love it. Something happens in a meadow. Yep, love it. Yep. Good stuff.
So that was my fun playlist experiment.
Are you doing that next for the next volume?
I think I will. Yeah, I think
that's
I will.
Pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome
too. That's part of the experience.
Yeah, I wanted to put myself as close to the character as possible. If it's 1985, I'll listen to the songs that maybe were on the radio while he was driving to go kill somebody. I don't know.
Did you kill any Nazis after you were done reading it?
Unfortunately, I did not. I just went to sleep.
You're gonna get some like NWA in the 2000s in the 90s. That's gonna be great.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. They got a lot of bangers about not liking cops.
Yeah, you're gonna be in your vibe.
Yep. All right. Well, that's the second volume of Reckless, Friend of the Devil.
I wish they were labeled by volume because I really had to be
almost read the wrong one.
I really hope I've got the right one here.
Yeah, I had to check the reading order. Even though there's only 5, still have to check the reading order.
Oh, hey, I've got a PSA for everybody as well. I mentioned before that I read these using Hoopla because I can read them for free. Hoopla is an app offered by your local library. If you sign up for a library card online and use it to read through Hoopla, it will expire in 2 months if you don't go into the library in person and say, hey, I'm a real human being. And then they'll extend it for 2 years.
That's pretty cool.
Because I encountered that. I went to download it and it wouldn't let me. And I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, I have to go in and talk to them. It took me 5 minutes. No big deal. But
I thought you said that last time. Didn't you say that last time?
No, I said I was using Hoopla, but...
We talked about because I asked if you could do it online.
You can do it online.
This.
I don't think you talked about the renewal part. You talked about...
Oh, okay.
Yes, you can sign up online.
You talked about the online sign-up.
Okay.
But
I
this is
learned
new
the
information.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a good PSA. We sandwiched the episode between two great PSAs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't eat 7-day-old chicken. Go to your local library in person and renew your card so you get your Hoopla access.
Yes.
Give them checkouts, people. They need checkouts. Trust me.
If there's one thing you'll never be able to say about this podcast is that you didn't learn anything.
It's true.
Apparently.
So until next time, my name is Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And I'm Eric.
Take care of yourselves, everybody. Bye-bye.
And I like 7-day-old chicken.
Oh, shit. I was going to say, knowing is half the battle. But
that's, yeah.